What's up, everybody? I see everybody out there making their videos on their McFarlane sports collections, and I figured it was time to do mine. It's like I love to see people out there collecting and things like that. I think it's cool. First off, I want to get started with my Roberto Clemente. Now, this is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. It's a 15-time All-Star and a 2-time World Series champion. He died prematurely in a plane crash. But this is an awesome figure. I wish I could have collected the one, from the All-Star game, from the limited edition Pittsburgh All-Star games along with Willie Stargell, but hopefully I'll get to it, maybe not. Next, we have Jackie Robinson, Major League's first Rookie of the Year, and also the first African American to break into the big leagues. And then right here, growing up in LA, I wasn't always a big hockey fan, but I got into it once the LA Kings acquired Wayne Gretzky. Now, Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player of all times, hands down, and he's the NHL's all-time leading scorer. Like, I hope I can get this figure. I hope I can meet him one day and I can have him autograph this. Right here is the legend, the man, bigger than Paul Bunyan. When you speak of like Bo Jackson, he's mythical. If it wasn't for a premature hip injury, this dude definitely would have been a Hall of Famer either in football or baseball. He was literally that good. As a football player, he possessed a rare combination of size, strength, and speed. He wasn't the most complete football player, but definitely had breakaway speed and power, unmatched by anyone. Baseball, he could hit for average, hit for power. He had a cannon arm. He was Superman. Right here, my favorite player of all times, Magic Johnson, 5-time NBA champion. I love the detail in this because of the fact that he's throwing his no-look patented no-look pass. So you're thinking about the 1980s Showtime Lakers. Worthy running the break with him. If you check out the cons on there, the Magic Johnson weapons, those were the hot shoes at the time back in '85. I definitely had a pair of those when I was a kid. Then underneath him, you have the other Hall of Famer, James Worthy. Now, James Worthy, I believe, is a 4-time NBA champion. I'm a huge Laker fan. I should know this. He played against some of the best of his era, the Bernard Kings, the Larry Birds, the Dominique Wilkins, the Scottie Pippins, name them, even Dr. J, name them. He battled against the best. And James Worthy was a rare combination. He could post you up at 6'9". He got a lot of points running the break. He had that smooth turnaround jumper. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that 82 NCAA championship game where Jordan did hit the game-winning shot, but James Worthy actually made the defensive steal to go ahead and seal the game. And underneath him, we definitely got Big Shaq Diesel, the most dominant ever. Back, I want to say maybe from 2001 to 2002, Shaq was just unstoppable. I believe those were his best years as a Laker. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. Great personality. Right here, Walt Clyde Frazier. In the 70s, a defensive stopper. Point guard for the New York Knicks. Dressed like a player. Looked like something out of the blaxploitation films. Awesome figure to have. To the right, I have an autographed Terry Bradshaw figure. I wish I could have had his Super Bowl championships inscribed in there as well, but I didn't get a chance to get that in there. Also, it's JSA certified. Here we got Elgin Baylor, the precursor to the Dr. J's, the Michael Jordans, the Vince Carters. 6'5" small forward, great leaping ability, big time scorer. If you look at during the time he played, he had over 23,000 points, 23 rebounds a game, which is crazy insane for a small forward at 6'5". In today's standards, that would be like a huge point guard, or definitely an average size 2. Up above him, we got the dominant Wilt the Steel Chamberlain, a.k.a. the Big Dipper. Now, what was so crazy is, like, growing up in L.A., I look at Wilt like, I think about the dominant numbers that he put up offensively, and he really wasn't that guy. For the Lakers, he was more of a role player. I think his best season as a Laker, he averaged maybe 23 points a game. That I'm not sure. But the monster numbers he put up offensively, he spent that time, that was his time during when he was a 76er. But when you think about him as a Laker, you think about him, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Elgin Baylor had retired at the time. But the 70, oh man, I'm losing it. What were they? 70, I forget. But the huge winning streak, at the time, it was the best record in the league to the 96 Chicago Bulls. Beat that record at 72-10. Up above him, we got my man, Mr. Clutch, Jerry West. One of the greatest Lakers of all times. One of the biggest clutch performers of all times. Jerry, very competitive. I believe like he's cut from the same cloth as Magic, Bird, Michael, Kobe Bryant, people like that that are competitive, hyper competitive, and all they think about is winning, and is like they were really dedicated to their teams and all about winning at the end of the day. Now, Jim Brown, it's funny because like growing up, like my grandparents, my parents always talked about Jim Brown. Now, you can't say anything bad about Jim Brown to people of that era because he was the first person to put up 1,500 yards rushing. Jim Brown, is what's crazy to this day, he retired in his prime at age 29. And he's still in the top 10 of the all-time leading rushers in the NFL. Jim Brown is probably a player that I've grown to respect over time because if you look at the highlights, they're really not impressive. But you have to think back, players of that day, they were more like legends of word of mouth because they didn't have all the high media outlets that we have today, where we have Sports Center and Fox, wherever you're at, Fox Sports West, South, or wherever you're from. The media outlets that pump out highlights all the time. But Jim Brown ran hard and definitely was one of the greatest running backs of all time.